So last night I made this little, I'm going to call it a focal point for some kind of project that I'll use in the future. And I was going through my camera and videos and stuff later and deleted the video. So I decided for some kind of project to make two little circles too. I made a flower cane the other day, my first flower cane, and a leaf cane, and so I'm going to use those in these little ones and kind of show you how I did it. Hopefully I'll have enough to do two, but maybe not. But again, it's just kind of an idea to, I don't know, just different ideas, you know, to get you thinking about things you can make for your mixed media projects, just to give you a little inspiration. So I took some black clay and I rolled it out on my, on my pasta machine at whatever thickness you like. And then last night I used a pretty big cutter, sorry, I just used alcohol on my fingers, so I got white spots, but I used a big one. Now I have a smaller cutter, so I'm just going to cut my little pieces out of that. Here's one and two, and again I'll start with two, and hopefully I can make two, but maybe not. Okay, we'll get rid of these. And these were the first canes I made the other day. So we got two pieces, and we're going to try to make this guy, okay? Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So we got two pieces. Next, I've seen a lot of things done with silk screens, but I don't have any silk screens. So I decided I wanted something on the background behind these flowers, but I didn't want it to be too much. So I have a stencil from Tim Holtz. This one is a mini stencil. It's like a little filigree type thing. It's THMS and 076. So THMS 076 is the design, if you're interested in the design. And so next what you're going to do, and I want one there because I like this little flower kind of thing. So I'll put one in the middle of that one. And then I'm going to move this one down because there's that same design down here. Roughly in the middle. I mean, it's going to be mostly covered up. So, and then kind of burnish it on with your finger, just so it's kind of pushed down in. So when we apply our colorant, it doesn't go under the mold. And same thing on this side. Give it a little mush down in. And I decided to use these, I have a bunch of the Jacquard pearls, so this is Pearl X, and this one's the Interference Blue that gave me that kind of blue shimmer down in there. So we'll open that up, and then we'll just a little scrap brush, and we're going to take some of this and kind of buff it in. Just get it mainly covered up. Last night I didn't want to start a full mixed media project, but I did want to create something. It was like midnight on Saturday, so I decided to try to make a lot of my embellishments. The other thing I find with mixed media is I can't find a lot of focal pieces, so I'm trying to make some. My silicone mat under here is kind of bubbled up, but so get it on, enough on to cover it. And on the black clay, you could probably use a dark scrap clay or whatever you have. This really showed up pretty. And I'm sure it would show up pretty on white too. It just give it a nice light shimmer. But again, I wanted something under the flowers, but I didn't want it to be too noticeable. I just wanted to give some kind of color. So now that we got it mainly covered, what we're going to do is kind of buff it in with your finger. Make sure it's set way into that clay there. Okay. And then peel off your clay from your stencil. Aren't those pretty? I mean, even just those on their own, I think would be pretty for a mixed media piece, or some kind of jewelry or something. I don't know. I thought it was pretty. Okay, so next I'm going to do is cut some pieces from my leftover cane that I have. So I don't really have very much left. I didn't plan on making another video, but it is what it is. I'm going to try to just extend it a little bit without messing up my flower. Okay, where is my blade? Right here. So I'm going to take my blade, clay blade, and then we're just going to cut some very thin pieces off of this. And I'm sure you can do whatever you would like for your design. This was just the first cane I made. My first ever. I was so proud of it. Because canes are actually quite, ooh, that one's going to be really thin, quite hard to make. And the thickness doesn't really matter. I might not be able to get 2 out of this, but we'll try. Apologize again about the washer. And keep rolling it so your petals don't get too flat and distorted. I have a petal here that's like super funky. I don't know why. He kind of pushed out of the design. Probably just my inexperience in making canes, honestly. Next time will be better. It's more just this end that looks so funky. So I don't know, I may decide to make a new one. I could almost see if I could take him out and cinch these two together, maybe. That's not too bad, right? Just took that one out and made a 5 instead of a 6 leaf. I'm really sorry about the washer upstairs. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that goofy petal off of all of these. So I'm going to pause that because you don't need to watch. Okay, so I'm actually going to make a new cane. I don't like the way these are looking, so I'll use this for scrap. So there's tons of tutorials on how to make flower canes, so I won't record that, but when I'm done making a flower cane, I'll come back and we'll set these up. So I've made a new flower cane, and I actually like this one better than my other one, but either way, it's a flower cane. And so this is what we're kind of going to do, but in a smaller version. So where is my clay tool? Right here. And I'm going to start laying on these little pieces. You know, my center's not a full spiral, but I actually like it more because compared to this one, the spirals are so tiny you can hardly see them. Whereas this one, you can kind of see some definition in there. So I'm going to layer it around very similar. I'm going to do the outside layer first. Pretty much I'll just get them on there and then space them a little bit better. Beautiful. I like these. I think they'll be cute in a project at some point. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with them, but I'll have something. So when I'm making a project, I'll be able to kind of play with it and see, you know, put it on. Last night when I was making this one, I did the outer layer of flowers, and then I took different clay pieces that I had made and put them in the center to see what I would like and if anything would work in there. You know, it's just kind of all about playing. That's what I feel like art is. It's something to enjoy, and yeah. So I like these. I think they look like little bumblebees in the middle. I don't know, almost. I'm just flipping them over here and there just to see what side I like better. Sometimes your Skinner blends don't go all the way, or mine at least don't. Let's see if I can space this a little differently, because I don't think I'll fit one more fully on there. It's a little wider on this side, so we got to shift. This way a little bit. I don't think I can fit one more. I think that looks pretty good, right? So I'll just take my finger and lightly adhere them to the bottom. Just like that. This one moved a little bit. Then I'm going to lightly take my rolling pin, wherever it is, just kind of gently level it off. You know, and this kind of stuff just to give you ideas or different, you might go, oh, I know what I can do with that idea, you know, that kind of stuff. And then I'll probably take one more for the center. Now my leaf cane is not the most perfect leaf cane ever. But it was my first one and I kind of half-assed it. I didn't do what I should have done. So when I made this leaf cane, when you have your green Skinner blend in a roll, you're supposed to pretty much cut it into 6 pieces. Well, I was being lazy, so I just decided to cut a slit into it to the middle line, and I cut it in half, put the black in, and then I did a slit, fit it in, slit, fit in the black, slit, fit in the black, and you can see I didn't get it all the way down to the bottom, right there. And then on this side, super wonky. So we'll use as many of these as we can. I'm going to try to and I made this one like a week ago, so I have to go real slow with it, but I'm going to try to reduce it a little bit so I can get some smaller ones. We'll see if this works. You never know, I might have to make a new leaf cane too. So I'm kind of doing a triangle shape right now. I'm just kind of pinching down and pushing. See, in the center, I don't know if you can see that, it's starting to bulge out. That's better than the outside, because a lot of times the outside of your clay will move first and the inside will not, and you'd rather have the outside or the inside move first. That way you don't have a lot of outer excess. So I'm just trying to make these a little smaller, because obviously this is a little smaller piece, and even these flowers compared to these flowers are smaller. And then I'm going to shape it into a... Actually, I kind of want it wide, so when I fold it, I can... So I can fold my leaf a little bit. Okay, let me cut a couple of these off and see what they look like. If I can pick up my tissue blade without cutting myself. Cut a little off that end. That's what we got there. And then what I did next is I took my little clay tool and I just made some little indentations. And I'm just started working with polymer clay, guys. This is my first leaf cane I ever made. And obviously you could probably do a better job, but you know, whatever. And I'm just going to fold the ends and pinch the ends. It's a little wonky looking, but whatever. Let me try a different one. See, those are the ones I had yesterday. I need to be a little thicker than that. God, I'm having trouble with this leaf cane today. Maybe because it's stickier because I just played with it. I should probably let it sit a little bit. Almost looks like a face now that I'm halfway through this cane. It's hard to see. Do they look goofy? Whatever. I think they'll work. Now last night I did put a little Sculpey Bacon Bond in there to make sure those leaves stayed down, those larger leaves. So maybe I'll do a little bit of that just to be sure it sticks. Now on the big one I did 2 concentric circles and 1 in the middle, but I'm not going to be able to fit it on this little one. So let me lift this guy up, put him there, put a little dap of my Bacon Bond, just because they are going to sit up from the whole project. It probably would be easier if I let this cane rest a little bit. A little Bacon Bond on that guy. Okay. God, it's so much easier to make flowers and stuff and leaves when you're not worried about center lines and veins and stuff, but I've done a lot of flowers like that in just one solid color. Let me see. See, like this. And it's so much easier because you don't have to worry about veins, you know, when you're making little dinky ones. Like this. So I'll use these on a project at some point. I even have bigger ones. But I wanted to try my hand in cane making. So I attempted it. And I'm sure I'll get better. That was these flowers on this one that we're making right now was my second flower cane. Oop, I squished it. You know, I don't think it turned out too bad. Let's see if I can get that one to fold correctly. If not, if you're having a piece that's really giving you a hard time, give up on it. You have enough. Just don't keep fudging with it. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, this clay is a little sticky. I should let it rest a little bit, but for the sake of it, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to nitpick this more than anybody else is going to, so we are all our own worst critics, and I'll say that over and over and over again. No one notices the little things that we notice on ourselves. It's so true. No one will notice what I notice for errors because I made it. Let me just get some of this stuff out of the way. But you know, we were looking at wedding photos for my sister-in-law the other day, and you know, my sister, or for my stepsister-in-law's wedding that we had this past summer, and she was up from San Francisco when we were looking at our wedding photos, and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law would point themselves out in the background going, oh, look, I'm eating, or oh, look, I look funny. I'm like, no one's going to notice you in the background. Like, you know what I mean? We know, not to be rude, that sounds so rude, but like, we'll pull ourselves out even though we're blurry and in the background and our shirt's all ruffled and whatever. And then there's main people in the foreground that the picture's actually taken of. I'm like, that's what people are going to look at. Only we are going to notice ourselves. You know? If that makes sense without sounding like I'm a jerk. Now you hear my dogs barking up there. I do not know why, but they're barking. They bark all the time. Especially when people are plowing. Oh, this cane is so sticky. That one looks stupid. Guess it doesn't look any dumber than the rest of them. Now that one does look really dumb. I'm going to take that one off. Okay, let me cut another one. I probably should have left it big like I had it the other day. That works so much better. Maybe I'm also cutting them too thinly. Just going to flatten it out a little bit. And I'm sure in the future you'll see this project on something else. I'm not going to record making the second one because it's going to be the same exact thing as the first one. But again, this maybe give you some inspiration of something you can do with something you've made. Or something you have. Okay, 2 more. And then I'll bake it and we'll have 2 pretty focal points, or a focal point and 2 side pieces or something, I don't know. It was late the other night when I made this flower cane and I rushed and I shouldn't have. But I wanted to do something and I don't know why I do that. It's like midnight, I'm like, or 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh, I have to go to bed soon because I got to work at 6, and then I'll start doing something. And I'm like, oh, it's getting late, I gotta hurry up and finish. And just the way it is. One more and then we'll see how it looks. Again, it's going on a mixed media piece, so no one but myself is really going to notice the little intricate details. You look at it as a whole, or other people do. They look at it as a whole piece. So no one's going to go, oh, that petal's a little incorrect, you know, or that leaf looks a little funny. No one but me. Because I made it and I know in my mind what I intended. A lot of times doesn't translate, whether it's painting or whatever I'm doing. It doesn't always translate from my brain to the page, so. Oh, you know what? I think my fiance's home. He went out plowing at like 3 a.m. He's been working like a madman plowing here in Vermont. And so, what is it, like noon? Diesel. Hang on, let me yell at my dog, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh. And he barks again. It's Sunday, so it shouldn't be the male guy. The male guy always gets him riled up. So I have 2 pit bulls, and they're sweet as heck, but when someone's outside, obviously they're going to bark and protect mom. So the male guy, the UPS guy, whenever he comes, and he comes quite often because I order a lot online, like anything, even toilet paper or whatever, it's easier. My grocery store is like an hour away. So he comes with the packages and he knocks and then leaves them at the front. He puts them on the stairs up front and then knocks and then walks away. So the dogs get freaked every time because they have no clue. So then when someone actually knocks to come in, they have no... I don't know why he does that. He like knocks and then leaves. If there's a reason for that, let me know, because my dogs go absolutely berserk when someone's knocking because they expect him to be coming in, but then he never does. So then when actually someone does come in, I don't know, it's just a weird... Those 3 look really close together, don't they? But again, that's me nitpicking. I don't know, I think they're cute. And then you just got that little shimmer in the background, you know, and if I have some kind of mixed media piece, I think they'll be cute on it. So I'll bake those per instructions, and I'll make a second one. And I mean, I don't need to show you because it's baked, it's baked. It's no different than when it's not baked. So that's hopefully a little inspiration on some kind of focal pieces that you could do for your mixed media. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, as you know, I'll continue posting different little projects and things I do. Comment if you'd like, share, please. Again, this is Katie. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Bye.